and a hearty good morning on this very important day of our very great institution. If one really wants to achieve greatness in life, and one really wants to be deliberate in how you do, how you think, how you execute, how you achieve, you must be fearlessly deliberate in disrupting your current way of existence and constantly catapulting yourself in a future of uncertainty to enable you to grow from great to super excellent. It's such an institution. I'm honored to stand here and talk to you today because this great institution is on a transformation path to become a global leader where we are going to create the waves of central banking of the future, and we are excited to take you all along this journey. Ladies and gentlemen, the outline of my presentation today will be as follows. We will reflect on the overall context of the annual report. We will reflect on attainment of the just ended Bank of Namibia Strategic Plan 2017 to 2021. We will also have a look at this exciting new strategic plan that the Bank of Namibia with you, our Super Eagle family, have crafted under the leadership of our Commander-in-Chief, our Governor, whereafter we will conclude. So, reflecting on the annual report context, the annual report of the Bank of Namibia covers the period 1 January 2021 until 31 December 2021. The report communicates the bank's operations and activities to all our stakeholders, internal and external. This is our proud moment, and it's really our opportunity to give you a cost-benefit reflection of the investments made in this institution and what her outputs mean for Namibia and the people. Additionally, the report provides a reflection on governance and stakeholder highlights for the year under review. It allows an overview of the bank's financial performance for the year under review. It highlights the strategic focus areas on which we executed, and it avails the glimpse of this new strategy that we've embarked upon. Looking further, in the year under review, the bond continued to discharge its mandate despite severe challenges brought about by the economic downturn as well as the COVID-19 pandemic. The bank is fortunate to have our most valued capital, our human capital, who made all of this possible. Thank you, our Super Eagles, our super team that in these most difficult and challenging of times never hesitated to give you our utmost best. The bank presided over its mandate of monetary and financial stability effectively and effortlessly. The bank also posted a healthy financial performance during the year under review. My apologies, the technology keeps on failing me. Okay, so starting with overall governance and risk management, the bank remains committed to excellence in our overall risk management. And later in my presentation, I will further build upon this. We've got a robust internal environment where we are supported by effective processes, effective policies, where we've got governance at the center, as well as effective risk management. And that is driven top down and bottom up at all levels, inclusive of our board. We have a resilient and robust control environment. We do not tolerate any non-compliance with such control environment. We're zealously protected we judge it regarding, and when there's non-compliance, we effectively deal with that. We've got a strong board with strong board subcommittees that effectively discharge the mandate constantly. They do so without hesitation, without fear. They challenge the status quo and they want answers. Accountability here remains key. We also ensure that the timely delivery of our annual report and our audited financial statements. That is our accountability report to the nation. One day late is simply not enough. 3.9 billion and 1.5 billion from the African Development Board. The stock of international reserves increased with 38%. It totals around 12.1 billion and reflects an increase from 31.7 billion at the end of December 2020, peaking at 43.9 billion as at 31 December 2021. The net interest income for 2021 totaled 468.3 million and reflects a slight downward trend from the previously recorded 533.7 million net interest income recorded in 2020. Whilst the net interest income represents the largest component of total income, the downward trend in 2021 was largely driven by a decrease in interest expenditure of 26.6% as a result of a decrease in deposit holdings. Expenditures for 2021 decreased with 12% from a record 549.9 in 2020 to 452.9 million as at 31 December 2021. Despite a prevailing low interest rate environment in 2021, the bank declared an increased dividend, coupling a certain amount to government, and our governor is going to address you thereon. It reflects an overall increase of 49% versus the declared dividend of 278.2 million in 2020. This higher surplus of the dividend recorded in 2020 was largely on account of capital gains realized from foreign reserve assets and cost containment measures implemented by the bank. The actual outturn surplus for 2021 reflected a 26% increase, totaling 672.7 million from the 2020 532.5 million recorded actual outturn surplus. During the period 2017 to 2021, the Bank of Namibia's activities were focused on 8 strategic objectives guiding our day-to-day operations over a 5-year period. These strategic objectives were directly connected to the bank's functional priorities, its mission, its vision, as well as to development in the internal and external environment. The bank has determined in the execution of the strategy appropriate initiatives and strategies in order to accomplish each strategic objective, as well as to ensure effective finalization of the 5-year strategic period. No delay, no transfer, 5 years or 5 years. At a high level, I will now touch upon each strategic objective along with its associated initiatives and strategies, complemented by a list of strategic outcomes which serves as indicators of success achieved on the objectives and encapsulated in the strategies and the areas of concentration for 2021. When we look at deterring illegal financial schemes, all the illegal financial schemes, and I'm sure you read about it in the newspapers, were timely investigated by the Bank of Namibia, and timely action was taken against promoters within 3 months of the bank becoming aware or being made aware of such illicit financial schemes as per the Banking Institutions Act. As far as supervision and regulation of deposit-taking institutions and credit bureaus are concerned, early warning indicators are in place to measure and gauge the performance of the banking sector. The banking system during the period under review was assessed to be stable and sound, while it recorded a healthy financial condition by posting good performance results. Despite the deterioration in the asset quality of the bank, which was mainly due to the economic downturn and the impact of COVID, still stood at levels of 15.7% and really outperformed the SEC benchmark of 11%. Banks overall also recorded a liquid asset ratio of 15.7% versus the SEC benchmark of 10.5%. Non-performing loans ratio stood at 6.4% versus the SEC benchmark of 4% during normal times and 6% during crisis time. So you will note that we are still 0.4 basis points outside the SEC benchmark. But a lot of effort has been rolled out by the Bank of Namibia and the team to reduce even that slight 0.4 difference and bring it within the SEC ratio. The supervisory team within the Banking Services Department attained 100% execution of the annual supervision plan, both in terms of targeted examination and thematic reviews on the four domestic systemically important banking institutions as well as other banking institutions. All work done in this regard was done on time. All high, medium, and risk issues identified in the examination reports were addressed within the agreed-upon timeline as executed by the banking industry. Credit bureaus met the acceptance rate of data of 97.8% versus the SEC benchmark of 95% for submission of information, with a rejection rate moving from 1.3% to 2.2%. Banking institutions, retailers, microlenders, and insurers submitted data to credit bureaus, and the coverage ratio of 88% was achieved versus the required benchmark of 80%. Constant outperformance. That is our breakfast. Entities that have submitted all information should be processed within 3 months by the bank. During the period under review, the bank received no new banking license applications. However, a very interesting and exciting development is that the bank did receive a building institution application, which is still being processed by the relevant teams. As far as licensing is concerned, all authorized dealers and authorized dealers with limited authority are licensed, and renewals were processed on time where applicable. All currently licensed authorized dealers with limited authority in their six had their licenses renewed in a timely manner for the period under review. One application for establishing a new authorized dealer with limited authority was received, and it was received quite late, and the necessary processing is ongoing. In ensuring efficient, safe, and effective payment and settlement systems, the Namibian Interbank Settlement System cost effectiveness for 2021 was 89%. This was well within the set of cost effectiveness range of 75 to 125%. Overall compliance with the safety index for 2021 was noted. Fraud to turnover ratio for 2021 recorded at 0.00076%, of which it literally outperforms the benchmark of 0.05% fraud to turnover ratio. Retail payment systems were available 99% of the time, witnessed being available 99.31% of the time versus the required 99.9% availability. So you will see a slight, I would say almost insignificant non-meeting of the benchmark, but it's still insignificant. It does not shake the boat at all. The recovery time objective, so whenever there's a failure of these critical payment systems, they need 2 hours to switch over to the disaster recovery building and make sure that these systems are back online within 2 issues identified by the supervision team within the National Payment and Settlement Department were addressed within the agreed timeline. Again, fully compliant, except for the slight marginal difference I highlighted earlier. As far as maintaining financial sector stability and developing the ability to handle a crisis in the financial system, the 2021 Financial Stability Report revealed that the Namibian financial system remains sound, resilient, and stable, despite the pre-existing economic downturn activity that was further excavated by the COVID-19 pandemic. The report, a joint publication of the Bank of Namibia and NAMPISA, avails an overall assessment of the financial system in Namibia and highlights the potential risk to the financial stability emanating from developments in the national and international community. I'll deep dive a little bit later in my presentation just to make sure the audience understands what is being looked at when we do this work. On a regular basis, the bank assesses risk and vulnerabilities in the financial system to ascertain the resilience of the sector with respect to its capacity to withstand both internal and external shocks. Such assessments are published in the report I mentioned, and that publication happens once a year, normally around April. So next month, members of the media and the audience, you will all be welcome back when the very important report will be launched. The Financial Stability Report analyzes developments in the global and domestic economic environment, household and corporate indebtedness, the banking sector, the non-banking financial services sector, and the payment and settlement system, and it recommends policies to mitigate inherent risks to which they are subject. The Financial Stability Report also recommends appropriate policy actions to continue deepening the resilience of the financial sector. The bank currently is awaiting a very critical piece of legislation in order to test the overall national crisis resolution framework. And in our next annual report, we will definitely avail you with feedback on how that turned out. Despite the recessionary economic conditions, the funding and solvency levels of both the banking and non-banking financial institutions were above prudential benchmarks, as is evident in the risk rating indicators, demonstrating its financial soundness and stability during the period under review. As far as introducing a financial sector safety net to enable, amongst others, a safety net for small depositors is concerned, as we all know, a deposit guarantee scheme as administered by the Namibia Deposit Guarantee Authority, which is legislated upon in the Deposit Guarantee Act of 2018, has been established and remains fully operational. Looking at strategic objective 2, promoting price stability. In this regard, the bank focused on ensuring the reliability of economic data to support economic policy. In this regard, timely and reliable balance of payments data and monetary and financial statistics that meet international standards were availed during the period under review. Monetary and financial statistics data were provided to the public once a month with a maximum lag of 1 month. Both balance of payments and monetary and financial statistics data were provided to the public on a quarterly basis as well as annually. All macroeconomic data were provided to the Monetary Policy Committee every 2 months and to external stakeholders on time. Again, no failures in that regard. Mandate executed 100%. When we look at pursuing monetary policy in accordance with the Monetary Policy Framework, the Bank of Namibia's Monetary Policy Committee pursued a relatively a moderate accommodative approach, but simultaneously also very cautious, a cautious monetary policy stance during the period under review, with neither reducing nor increasing the policy interest rate activity and safeguarding the one-to-one link between the Namibian dollar and the South African rand. The average annual inflation, the average annual consumer price inflation for 2021 stood at 3.6% versus a target the target of headline inflation always maintained at below 7%. And this is all done without compromising economic growth. Again, very good performance. Looking at strategic objective 3, managing reserves prudently, the bank is entrusted with prudentially managing Namibia's foreign exchange reserves. As such, the reserve assets are held to provide support for the issuance of domestic currencies as required in terms of the bilateral monetary agreement between the Government of the Republic of Namibia and the Government of the Republic of South Africa. Reserve assets are also held to enable funding of international transactions and to serve other strategic objectives, like maintaining confidence in the country's monetary and exchange rate policies, providing confidence to the international community that the country can service its external debt when due, and ensuring resilience to external shocks. To uphold the purposes of holding foreign reserves, the bank needs to ensure that the primary objectives of capital preservation and liquidity management are indeed met. In this regard, all internally and externally managed sub-portfolios met their respective objectives over the review period. The import cover was recorded at 6.4 months of imports compared to 5.1 months the previous year, and the international benchmark of 3 months import cover. Foreign reserves increased due to the additional special drawing right, allocation of the IMF, asset swap operation, and lower commercial bank transfers recorded during 2021. The level of foreign exchange reserves remain adequate and well above currency in circulation, plus a buffer equal to 3 times of average commercial bank outflows by a ratio of 3.0 times. This is quite important for the FEC arrangement I have spoken about, and I'm sure Governor will also highlight this critical requirement, because it is non-compliant by Namibia with the international reserve held to support the FEC arrangement. We may easily be kicked out of the arrangement. The bank is also mandated to manage the exchange controls in support of the country's foreign reserve management objectives. The implemented BOCA's version 3 reporting system, previously reported on in other annual reports, overall enhanced the bank's capacity to collect all the cross-border foreign exchange transactions to assist in exchange control policy formulation, to enhance the collection of data for balance of payment statistical purposes, and to assist with economic research used for economic policy and monetary policy development. The bank continued to play a coordinating role for the national task team responsible for mitigating illicit financial flows in collaboration with UNECA. It gives us such a great honor to announce today that Namibia soon will see her own national methodology to accurately measure illicit financial flows from Namibia and it will be implemented still during our current financial year 2022. The bank also continued to shape the compliance environment of the regulated populace. This included authorized dealers and authorized dealers with limited authority through various on-site and targeted inspections as well as thematic reviews. And all of these activities are geared towards instilling a compliance culture across the entire industry. We don't want to compel people to comply. We want people to be willingly compliant with the laws that the Bank of Namibia administers around exchange control. A willing compliance culture lessens the burden on the regulator. And the other section, which serves as payment of local and foreign obligations on behalf of government during 2021. 99% of all government payments destined to foreign beneficiaries were executed within a set benchmark period of a 3-day turnaround. This benchmark was 100% achieved, and there were no failures observed. The bank also succeeded in raising the required funding for the government as per the borrowing plan. All banking institutions' liquidity needs were met. The bank supplied the commercial banks with sufficient and good quality currency as per the bank's approved denomination mix. As far as issuance and management of government securities are concerned, as an agent for issuing government debt securities, the bank continued to offer both short and long-term dated debt instruments at primary auctions. This is intended to assist the government to finance the deficit from the national budget in an orderly manner and simultaneously to support its efforts and commitment towards financial market development. As far as management and issuance of currency is concerned, as you've seen, our banking services team in this prestigious organization just won internationally the world's best commemorative note, our $30 note. So during the period of under review, the bank continued to supply the Namibian market with sufficient good quality currency of all denominations at all times. The total currency in circulation was 460 billion plus. My apologies. My apologies, it's 4.6 billion plus. Okay, thank you. So as far as strategic objective 5 is concerned, promoting a positive reputation, you already saw our new corporate image. We're quite excited because it reflects where we are going as an organization. It reflects our concern for the environment and our determination to bring about a green economy within Namibia. So the bank maintained its overall positive corporate image by building and maintaining, my apologies. Apologies for this, it is skipping a slide. Yes, thank you. So the bank maintains its overall positive corporate image by building and maintaining long-term relationships with various stakeholders. And the bank is determined to make sure going forward that those stakeholders also include you, the members of the public. We will communicate to you in a manner that you will understand what do we do and how it benefits you. The bank achieved an overall positive media tonality of 84.4% for the year under review, and this measures positively against the required benchmark of a positive media tone of 80%. The events hosted by the bank continue to be well subscribed to, with an attendance above the 70% audience target. The benchmark here is also 70%, and the attendance was above 70%. That shows very, very deliberate effort by the team involved to advertise the bank's engagement and getting all the necessary stakeholders around the table. The average stakeholder satisfaction rate was 83.5% based on a response rate of 72% as measured through the 2019 External Stakeholder Perception Survey. This overall compares positively to the state benchmark of a satisfaction of greater than 80% based on the minimum response rate of 70%. During the year under review, the bank also sponsored various activities, and in this regard, life-saving activities for the Namibian nation. These sponsorships were targeted at various institutions and efforts that demonstrated the potential to contribute to the attainment of Namibia's developmental, economic, and social empowerment goals. Most importantly, and I am so humbled by this, presenting this to you today, the bank availed the contribution of more than 50 million to national COVID relief of Namibia for caring for the Namibian people. Looking at strategic objective 6, promoting financial sector development, as Secretary to the Namibian Financial Sector Strategy, the Bank of Namibia remained committed to the effective coordination of the implementation of the Namibian Financial Sector Strategy during the period 2019-2020, as well as the year under review. This strategy, reflecting over a 3-year period, actually spans over a total of 10 years and serves as a guide for the achievement of financial sector reform areas as set out in the various national development plans. The bank continued to play a key role in the coordination and execution of this strategy during the period under review. The execution role played by the bank entails carrying out projects that are in line with the strategy and the mandate of the bank, while the coordination role involves the harmonization of activities of relevant stakeholders as per the action plan, as well as the provision of secretariat service to the governance structures of the strategy. During 2021, the bank continued to execute this coordination function and executed various initiatives aimed at reforming the financial sector and improving access to finance for individuals and small and medium enterprises. The bank also assisted with efforts to further deepen the development of Namibia's financial markets. 2021 also witnessed the promulgation into law of the Financial Institutions Market Act, a very important piece of legislation for the non-banking financial institution sector. 2021 also witnessed the Namibian Deposit Guarantee Authority having been launched in April 2021. Looking at Strategic Objective 7, enhancing contribution towards sustainable economic growth. As part of its statutory mandate, the bank is required to provide policy advice to the government. In this regard, the bank conducts economic and financial research, as well as other research of strategic importance to Namibia. The main aim of the research undertaken by the bank is to inform specific policy direction and action. And the following are key highlights of what has been attained in this regard during the year under review. 86% of national economic policy advice was accepted, while 71% of such extended policy advice was implemented during the period under review. We put a high benchmark set here for ourselves. We slightly missed the benchmark, but the 71% is still in the upper quartile of being a good executed task. One research paper was presented at the Bank of Namibia University of Namibia Research Seminar titled The Impact of Fiscal Deficit on Inflation in Namibia. The bank has been made responsible for implementing 9 of the 12 annexes in the SADC Finance Investment Protocol. The implementation progress was monitored with a heightened set of attention during the year 2021 and 2020, as well as 2020. It is evident that the impact of the pandemic, coupled with domestic structural challenges and adverse climatic conditions, have impacted the economic performance of many countries in the SADC region as far as execution of the protocol is concerned, and Namibia is no exception. And as such, some implementation activities on the annexes of the SADC protocol remains behind schedule. It is the bank also held its 2021 annual symposium, from which various policy recommendations emanated, which have been assessed and on which further action has been taken. Furthermore, on an annual basis, the bank provides the Ministry of Finance with technical advice on government debt sustainability. Debt sustainability analysis is an important element in the macroeconomic indicators, confirms the need for government to stick to its fiscal consolidation plan and to minimize further borrowing. The recommendations included that overall government expenditure be set on a stable path, aligned with expected smooth government revenue, and that future borrowing should be strictly for growth-enhancing projects with high economic returns. The bank also continued to collaborate with international and regional stakeholders during 2021, amongst others, other central banks, the IMF, the World Bank, the Alliance for Financial Inclusion, and at a continental level, also the Association of African Central Banks. The bank also continued to participate in SADC activities through the Committee of Central Bank Governance and the Macroeconomic and Financial Management Institute of Eastern and Southern Africa. As has become the norm, the bank also actively participated in the Common Monetary Area and South African Customs Union activities. Looking at strategic objective 8, as far as optimizing organizational efficiency and cost effectiveness is concerned, let's focus on risk and assurance. Like I alluded to earlier, the bank is committed to excellence in risk management. It has a resilient and robust control environment. It has a strong board with subcommittees that tolerate zero non-compliance. At all times, the bank ensures the timely delivery of our audited financial statements and our annual report, as I also previously alluded to. The bank's risk management function facilitates enterprise risk management practices across the board in order to manage risk in a proactive, coordinated, prioritized, and cost-effective manner. The top strategic and operational risks and their identified response strategy also continued to be vigorously monitored during 2021, and the bank's quarterly risk management and audit committee meetings played a key role in this regard. Overall, enterprise risk management activities are designed to increase the probability of success and reduce uncertainty relating to the achievement of the bank's objectives. The approved risk-based internal audit plan for 2021, which provided comprehensive assurance over the processes which manage key risks, was also successfully executed. And all audit coverage objectives have been attained. The tracking and accountability for corrective actions on issues raised during audits were also prioritized by way of quarterly reporting to the audit committee in respect of the bank-wide cure rate, and also the cure rate results for December 2021 reflects a positive tone and exceeded a 99% cure rate. We slightly missed the target because risk is 100%. A slight miss of a target poses you and exposes you to further risk. But we are dedicated to make sure in 2022 we maintain a 100% cure rate all the time. As far as our human resources are concerned, during the year under review, staff performance was managed and tracked on an ongoing basis to ensure that staff members are optimally engaged. This was by no means an easy task. Staff continue to work from home, and making sure that staff morale are kept positive and its staff are constantly positively driven to achieve has indeed been a challenge, but we overcame. So if you look at the overall performance management process at the bank, it's reflected in overall positive performance behavior of our staff members. And the bank maintained an adequate staff complement throughout the period under review to meet our statutory mandate as well as our strategic objective. 99% of all the stated goals were achieved. That is, for me, a beautiful result to report on today. It shows the commitment by everyone involved in the process to help us to drive strategy, to help us to drive our personal accomplishment, and make sure that as an organization we prosper, we achieve, we make a difference. The bank's financial affairs are prudently managed. There's no tougher crowd to please than Johanna and her team. So, in this regard, the bank continuously look at our history, look at what is contained in this beautiful annual report. We all the time published unqualified financial statements which complied with all regulations and prescribed international financial reporting standards. So it shows to you that the process is serious and there is 100% compliance by all involved parties. The bank also maintains adequate controls to mitigate all potential transaction processing risks. There are defined limits within the accounting system to ensure adherence to the approved budget, so you don't easily go over budget. You're not allowed to go over budget. And on a quarterly basis, various analysis reports for both income and expenditure are presented to the bank's management committee. Apologies. Reflecting on our facilities management, we can positively guide today that there was 100% availability and functionality of the facilities that support the bank in achieving its strategic objectives. It could be that our facilities worked 100% because staff were working from home. Or it could be that what we have is state-of-the-art and really is designed never to fail and or disrupt our operations. Also, we continuously push on being a green entity, and a lot of transformative policies are helping us in this regard. As far as safety and security management is concerned, we have an effective and efficient security system in place. The audience, you can come knock on these doors, both back in front, any time of the day, somebody will stop you. Somebody will ask you, why are you here? What are you doing there? And all your details will be recorded. So during the period under review, the bank ensured that all its assets and personnel were duly protected, with security systems functional at more than 97% to provide maximum protection to employees in the bank's assets. Looking at information technology, overall, the bank completed the 2017 to 2021 IT Master Plan, which was directed towards business operations, enabled enhanced IT security, implemented numerous approved business systems, and better managed general IT control through technology governance. The bank realized an overall availability of 99.7% for critical systems and infrastructure during the year under review. There is a marginal missing of the target. The benchmark is 99.9, and we missed it with 0.2. But it's so marginal, it's insignificant. Cybersecurity remains a heightened key focus for the bank during the period under review. Excellent progress has been made in mitigating much of the cybersecurity risks we could have been exposed to, and this is as a result of the resilient policies that were developed to make sure that all exposure to any potential cyber risk is well covered. Governance controls remain sound while aiming for compliance with higher global standards of cybersecurity capability, and at all times as from the geopolitical tension starting, we follow an almost all shields up approach all the time. And what we mean with all shields up approach, if you would have done patching once a month, now it's all shields up. Patching runs constantly to make sure that we are not vulnerable to attacks from the cyber war. The bank also engaged in several innovative technology initiatives during the year under review. It continued to apply effective and efficient procurement practices during 2021 in line with our procurement policy. 99% of our stated goals regarding this objective has also been achieved. Sorry, let me just one. Last but not least, allow me to mention that the bank is constantly being challenged due to certain activities that we regulate. And if you look at all the litigation that occurred in court, our legal services team effectively warded them all, and we have no judgment adversely delivered against the Bank of Namibia during the period under review. So focusing on our future journey, and our governor will also reflect on this. Bank of Namibia, as Mr. Bemberuka also noted, launched a whole new transformative strategic vision and mission on 1 December 2022. It catapults us from the now into a virtual future where we are allowed to go outside our comfortable play boxes and build new boxes of existence that help the Bank of Namibia to achieve this strategy. At the time of the launch of the strategy, at the time of the launch of this annual report, we have now covered 3 months of executing this new strategic plan. The plan reflects true ownership of Team Bank of Namibia, as no one was left out in crafting the transformational journey of the future of the bank. It took an intense 6 months, and everybody was engaged. You will see in our new vision and mission, it's not what management dictated or leadership dictated. It's a vision and mission crafted by our beloved human capital. And that vision and mission, our values, and our 4 strategic pillars are all dedicated to Namibia, her people, and our future prosperity as a nation. In this new plan, the bank has adopted a new philosophy that requires all employees to run the same race faster, and also build a new box of existence by running a different race to prepare us for the future. The plan poised the bank to renew itself as an entity entrusted with expanded macroprudential oversight. I will address that very soon. It's about an intense focus applied to reformation and modernization of our financial system. In this regard, we want to onboard our informal economy, and we want our rural attack of Kennekiako take the pace of you go. That is the type of future we are striving to achieve. Everything with a click of a button, and for the millennials in the house, instant gratification, service delivered. Okay. So, in the execution of this new strategy, we want to we strive to attain economic recovery in the near term, but we also want to effectively contribute to sustainable economic development for the benefit of all of Namibia and to people. So reflecting on the vision and mission, I told you, Super Eagles dedicated this to the Namibian people. The mission says, we support a sustainable economic development through effective monetary policy and inclusive and stable financial system for the benefit of all Namibians, for the needs and the youth and everybody else that are Namibians. The vision is to be a leading central bank committed to a prosperous Namibia. We do believe we can do better. We will enable the execution of this strategy to help us all to be prosperous in Namibia. We have a four-pillared high-level strategic focus. I will not go into too much detail, but the purpose pillar, it enables the bank to still execute the mandate, but to enhance execution by running that rates faster. And like I said, being futuristic, by dedicating 20% of our time to develop these innovative boxes for future existence, and it completely disrupts and transforms on how we deliver our statutory mandate and how we keep our stakeholders happy. This is a very, very nice time to work for the Bank of Namibia. It scares you if you don't know. It excites you if you're very curious. And learning happens every day. So it establishes what we call our own innovation hub, where innovation and creativity in the fintech sector really is the core focus. It provides a conducive environment for incubation of new concepts without frustrating and stifling startups and innovators. But all of this done is still done in a regulated, responsible manner. For those of you that have not read our fintech strategy, you are encouraged to go read that. Please read up on the regulatory sandboxes. There are innovators that are already playing in that very nice sandbox. We also focus on the development of central bank digital currencies. Our research work in this regard is quite advanced. And as we are part of the common monetary arrangement, we must just make sure that what Namibia wants to do in the execution of this strategy remains aligned with what the common monetary area is doing, because we are tied in a bilateral and multilateral arrangement that requires of us to adhere to certain things. And it will also focus on retail bonds. Stakeholder engagement pillar. This pillar strives for a heightened positive reputation. Mr. Dimaruka spoke about that. This newly launched corporate image speaks to that. And we want to enhance our stakeholder awareness and confidence and maintain a proactive public engagement. This central bank belongs to you, Namibia. We are the mere custodians in all our outputs. We must make sure that you understand and that you can engage us thereon. As far as the talent and transformation pillar is concerned, we promote potential through talent transformation of our human capital. We want to be the employer of choice. We want to make sure our staff are future fit. They've got the necessary skills to develop an algorithm, to do coding, to use data optimally and make real-time decisions based on the data that we analyze. We want to promote a staff culture of integrity, agility, excellence, and high performance. When you work for the Bank of Namibia, there's no time for sluggishness. Everything we do and everything we give is our absolute best because we do it for Namibia and her great. At our future fit organizational efficiency and effectiveness pillar, enabling this pillar enables the bank to thrive as a fit for future organization, the digitally transformed organization, which ushers us into a digital transformed era where we are all digitally savvy, where everything we do is in a digital manner, where our staff are upskilled and reskilled, fit for future staff, and they can occupy any position that this newly enabled digital environment brought about. Overall, I need to conclude because I ran out of time. Overall, the key enabler of the execution of this beautiful futuristic strategy is digital transformation. We could never succeed if technology was not our key enabler in this regard. So I want to also reflect at a very high level that the bank also received a whole new statutory mandate. Apologies. Sorry. Yeah. The bank also received a whole new statutory mandate when the Bank of Namibia Act 2020 was enacted. And this expanded mandate allowed to the bank a macroprudential oversight role. In this regard, the bank established a new department on its structure, and it's called the Financial Stability and Macroprudential Oversight Department to assist the organization in effectively executing this newly ascribed mandate. This newly established department looks at the stability of the financial system in its entirety beyond macroprudential considerations. The governance structures around financial stability and macroprudential oversight is that of a governance council. So overall, in support of this function, the bank took this conscious decision to establish this new department within the bank, and this department has four main focus areas. It safeguards the stability of the financial system through monitoring systemic risk and stress testing. It supports the Macroprudential Oversight Committee in formulating macroprudential policies and applying these policies in order to reduce systemic risk to the financial system. It assists the bank in resolving the stress bank and supports Namibia in resolving systemically important non-banking financial institutions in Namibia. It also administers the Namibia Deposit Guarantee Authority. So, in conclusion, apologies. On our 2017 to 21 strategic plan, we are confident that in our 2022 to 2024 strategy, it will enable the transformational outcome and successful delivery as I've just spoken about. Overall, we are successfully discharging on our macroprudential oversight responsibility. Please read those financial stability reports. And overall, we ensure that we have a robust, resilient, and modernized financial system. The Bank of Namibia delivered on its core mandate. It maintained an average inflation rate of 3.6%, a repo rate of 3.6%, and a sound and stable financial system during 2021. It also delivered a strong net operating surplus driven by solid strategy execution. The bank assisted households and businesses through timely relief liquidity measures and contributed, like I said, more than 15 million towards Namibia's COVID-19 relief campaign. Overall, this enabled the good financial performance, enabled the bank to declare a positive dividend. And beautiful things are going to happen for Namibia around this dividend, and our governor will speak to that. Looking forward, ladies and gentlemen, the bank has a strong operating unit and is well positioned to contribute during 2022 and beyond towards the prosperity of Namibia through the promotion of monetary and financial stability. It was such a great pleasure to share with you today our strategic outcomes for the period 2017 to 2021 and to take you on this beautiful, transformative journey, a very exciting journey, which will yield outcomes that will benefit you, me, this beautiful organization, Namibia, and the beautiful citizenry. I thank you.